John Sangwa's shocking confession. Why running a political party is harder than you think. Tonight, one of Zambia's most respected legal minds has dropped a truth bomb, one that many politicians would rather bury than confront. John Sangwa has publicly declared, "It's not easy to run a political party." But why now? What pressure is he seeing behind the scenes? And what does this mean for the PF, the UPND, and every party fighting for power ahead of 2026? From financial battles, to internal betrayals, to the legal landmines that could collapse a political movement overnight, Sangwa's warning has deeper consequences than most Zambians realize. Stay with me, because what Sangwa just revealed challenges everything we think we know about political leadership in Zambia. And tonight, we break it all down. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of the InspirAfrica official. I'm Nakash. We're here once again, on what's been quite an eventful week across southern Africa. But before we dive into the regional updates, we have a lead story that has sent shockwaves through Zambia's political landscape. A confession that nobody saw coming. Imagine this. A man who spent over 3 decades building one of Zambia's most respected law firms. A constitutional lawyer who challenged presidents, defended the rule of law, and became the voice of legal conscience in a nation hungry for accountability. A man so confident in his mission that he walked away from everything, his practice, his partnership, his comfortable life, to answer what he called a national duty. Now picture that same man, just weeks after launching his political movement, standing before the nation with a confession so raw, so unexpected, that it threatens to unravel everything he's built. What happens when the ivory tower meets the streets? When legal brilliance collides with political reality? When the man who criticized every government suddenly discovers that building one is far more complicated than tearing one down. John Sangwa, constitutional lawyer, now political leader of the Movement for National Renewal, has made a stunning admission. It's not easy to run a political party in Zambia. But wait, there's more to this story. What exactly is happening behind the scenes? Who is chewing his money, as he claims, while secretly supporting the very government he's trying to replace? Is this the confession of a man who underestimated the game, or is something darker at play? Could Sangwa's political dream be collapsing before it even begins? And if a man of his intellect and resources is struggling, what does that say about the state of Zambian democracy itself? The revelation has left many asking, is this the beginning of the end for the Movement for National Renewal, or just the brutal awakening every political newcomer must face? The revelation came to light just hours ago, through a brief but explosive statement that has now spread across Zambian media like wildfire. Let's rewind to understand how we got here. On October 12, 2025, John Sangwa, senior counsel, made a decision that stunned Zambia's legal community. After 39 years of friendship and 31 years of partnership with Robert Simiza, SC, he announced his immediate departure from Simiza, Sangwa and Associates, the prestigious law firm he co-founded more than 3 decades ago. In a carefully worded statement, Sangwa framed his exit as a sacrifice, an offering of personal comfort for what he called national renewal. He launched the Movement for National Renewal, the MNR, with an ambitious goal: to mobilize 1 million Zambian citizens by December 31, 2025. Only then, he said, would the movement consider transforming into a full political party. The plan was bold, almost revolutionary. Instead of accepting money from what he called traditional funders of politics, the wealthy elites, foreign interests, and business cartels that typically bankroll Zambian campaigns, Sangwa declared he would be funded entirely by ordinary Zambians. 100 kwacha at a time. Grassroots democracy in its purest form. He posed 10 questions to the nation, challenging Zambians to reflect on their constitutional duties, their willingness to sacrifice, and their readiness to rebuild their country from the ground up. He courted the church, meeting with Archbishop Alec Banda for prayers and counsel. He brought on board Dorika Banda, a fellow political aspirant, and Jackson Salavwi, president of the Golden Party Zambia, who dissolved his party to join the MNR. The movement gained attention. Social media buzzed. Supporters rallied. Critics scoffed, but many watched with curiosity. Then came the harsh reality check. According to the latest reports, Sangwa revealed that he is facing serious challenges in forming structures across the country. People, he says, are just chewing his money while failing to form structures. More troubling still, he claims that many of these individuals are secretly supporting President Hakainde Hichilema and the ruling United Party for National Development, the UPND, even as they pocket funds meant to build the MNR. The frustration is evident. Sangwa warned that if this trend continues, he will have no other option but to go back to his legal profession. A stunning reversal. Less than 6 weeks after walking away from law, the man who called for national sacrifice is now contemplating a return to his old life. John Sangwa's own words paint a picture of a man grappling with the brutal realities of political organizing. In his latest statement, carried by the Zambian Observer and other outlets, Sangwa was blunt. "It's not easy to run a political party in Zambia. I am facing challenges forming structures across the country as people are just chewing my money while failing to form structures. People should be honest enough on which party they belong to and not getting money from me while supporting HH and the UPND. If the trend continues, I will have no other option but to go back to my legal profession." These are not the words of a man riding high on political momentum. They are the words of someone discovering, in real time, that the map is not the territory. But let's go back to when the journey began. In his October 12th announcement, Sangwa had struck a very different tone. "After much reflection and prayer, I have decided to step away from active legal practice at Simiza, Sangwa and Associates, the firm I co-founded and have served faithfully for more than 3 decades. This decision takes effect immediately. We cannot rebuild Zambia without sacrifice, and my decision to step away from the firm I founded is one such sacrifice, an offering of personal comfort for the greater purpose of national renewal." He had been confident, idealistic, ready for battle. During an interview on Emmanuel Mwamba's Verified program back in early October, Sangwa had said, "I admire some of my colleagues who are brave enough to jump in the political arena, form a political party, they are presidents and so on. I have a problem. I'm not that brave because I need some basis on which to believe that actually people know me and they believe in me. That's why the first thing that we have done is to try and raise 1 million people. It's a sign of confidence. If people don't believe in what I'm sharing with them, I won't reach that 1 million. But if they do, I should be able to reach that 1 million. It's a test even for me. I'm not arrogant enough to believe that actually people want me to serve them." There was humility in those words. A recognition that politics is not law, that popularity is not the same as legal expertise. Yet even then, there were warning signs. In another television appearance on Prime TV's One-on-One program, Sangwa had been asked about threats from UPND deputy spokesperson Elvis Nkandu, who warned that Sangwa would be bruised if he entered politics. Sangwa responded, "It's very sad, and shouldn't be because I was just told that you're going to bruise me. What have I done to you for you to say you're going to bruise me? First of all, we've never met. We've never met or interacted, whether directly or indirectly. And you are just taken aback by the language. First of all, we are one people, we are all Zambians, and we are all trying to find ways and means to better this country. Why should we be bruising one another? Instead of talking that kind of language, there should be a language of love." But politics, as Sangwa is now learning, is not a language of love. It's a language of loyalty, patronage, and survival. And those who play the game often play by rules that no constitution can govern. In an earlier appearance on the Costa program on Diamond TV, Sangwa had defended his lack of political experience. "I have heard this talk about experience. No, you lack experience, and so forth. My answer is very simple. Where has that experience taken us in 60 years? What is the outcome of that political experience that people market? No, you don't need political experience or civil service experience to be a good president. You just need to be a good leader. Perhaps. But leadership in politics requires something beyond vision. It requires an understanding of human nature, the opportunism, the duplicity, the transactional relationships that define how power is built and maintained in places like Zambia. So what does John Sangwa's confession really mean for Zambia's political landscape? To understand the implications, we must first understand what the movement for national renewal represented, and why it appears to be faltering. Sangwa's pitch was radical in the Zambian context. He promised a politics free from the grip of wealthy benefactors, a movement funded entirely by ordinary citizens contributing small amounts. He rejected what he called the traditional funders of politics, the business tycoons, foreign interests, and shadowy financiers who bankroll campaigns and expect favors in return. It was an inspiring vision, but it was also deeply naive. Zambian politics runs on patronage. Political parties are not built on ideology or civic virtue. They are built on networks of loyalty that stretch from the presidential palace down to the village headman. Money flows downward, support flows upward. Activists, ward chairmen, and constituency organizers expect to be compensated for their time. Promises are not enough. Cash is king. Sangwa's model assumed that Zambians would organize themselves out of pure civic duty. He told his supporters, "Do not wait for me to tell you what to do. Our communities nationwide are different, in their people, resources, and challenges. And it is the people within those communities, not outsiders, who are best placed to know how to organize themselves." It was a beautiful idea, but in practice, people waited. People took money. People hedged their bets. And this is where the confession becomes particularly damning. Sangwa claims that people are chewing his money, a colloquial Zambian expression meaning they are taking his funds, while secretly remaining loyal to President Hichilema and the UPND. If true, this speaks to a fundamental challenge facing any opposition movement in Zambia right now. The UPND has deeply entrenched structures, built over decades of struggle. Hakainde Hichilema lost 5 elections before finally winning in 2021. The party's machinery is well-oiled, disciplined, and omnipresent. For a newcomer like Sangwa, the challenge is immense. How do you compete with a party that already controls the state, the resources, and the patronage networks? How do you recruit genuine believers when survival, economic survival, depends on staying in the good graces of those in power? Critics of Sangwa have been quick to seize on his admission. Social media has erupted with mockery and schadenfreude. Some accuse him of being out of touch, an elitist who thought he could lecture his way into power. Others suggest that his movement was always a vanity project, destined to fail because it lacked the grassroots machinery that real politics require. But there's another interpretation. Perhaps Sangwa's confession is not a sign of failure, but a sign of honesty, a rare commodity in politics. Perhaps he is simply saying out loud what every politician knows but never admits, that building a movement from scratch, without compromising your principles, is extraordinarily difficult in a system designed to reward the opposite. Political analyst Mukuka Nsendaluka told one outlet, Sangwa's challenge is that he is trying to import a model of politics that works in mature democracies into a context where democratic institutions are weak and patronage is strong. It's admirable, but it's also a recipe for frustration. Meanwhile, UPND insiders are reportedly amused by Sangwa's struggles. One anonymous party official was quoted saying, "We've been doing this for over 20 years. We've lost elections, rebuilt, and come back stronger." Sangwa thinks he can read a few books, give a few speeches, and suddenly he's a political force? Politics is not a courtroom. Yet for all the mockery, Sangwa's movement has attracted some serious figures. Derika Banda, a former presidential candidate, joined. Jackson Salavwi dissolved his entire party to come aboard. Archbishop Alec Banda blessed the movement. Clearly, some people believe there is something worth fighting for here. The question now is whether Sangwa can adapt. Can he learn the hard lessons of political organizing without abandoning the principles that brought him into the arena in the first place? Or will he become yet another idealist broken by the machinery of Zambian politics? And there's a larger question. If John Sangwa, with all his education, resources, and public profile, is struggling to build a movement, what hope is there for genuine democratic competition in Zambia? If the system is so entrenched that newcomers are either co-opted or crushed, then what does that say about the health of Zambian democracy? And so, viewers, we arrive at a moment of reckoning, not just for John Sangwa, but for all of us watching this unfold. The story of the movement for national renewal is still being written. Perhaps Sangwa will dig deeper, learn faster, and find a way to build the structures he needs without compromising his values. Perhaps he will retreat to his legal practice, concluding that politics is a game not worth playing. Or perhaps, just perhaps, his confession will spark a broader conversation about what it really takes to change a country. About the structures of power that make it so hard for new voices to emerge. About the ordinary Zambians who are caught between hope and survival, between idealism and pragmatism. Whatever happens next, One thing is clear. John Sangwa has learned what every politician eventually learns. Running a political party is not a legal argument. It's not a question of constitutional interpretation or moral clarity. It's a test of endurance, strategy, and human understanding in the messy, complicated, often corrupt world of real politics. Thank you for watching this edition of InspirAfrica Official. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops, because the fate of the MNR may well be a preview of what awaits any future challengers to Zambia's political establishment. What do you think? Is Sangwa's confession a sign of honesty or a sign of failure? Can a movement built on principles survive in a system built on patronage? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories from across the continent. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, democracy is not a spectator sport. This is Nakash, signing off. Take care, and see you tomorrow.